Catherine, thank you very much. What an exciting final day the Solheim Cup is turning out to be. And as Kat says, head over to the BBC app and BBC Online commentary for the final day, the final conclusion of that. But here on Sports Extra now for the next couple of hours, this is the sound of Anfield for a really eye-catching game today in the Premier League. Two teams have made really good starts to the season so far. Liverpool unbeaten in all competitions, looking to maintain their unbeaten record this afternoon in a really good start to the season in the Premier League against West Ham, a team who have boasted some really eye-catching results over the likes of Chelsea, over the likes of Brighton already this season. Stephen Warnock is alongside me. Stephen, though, you've been distracted. You've been watching the Solheim Cup the last couple of minutes, enjoying that this weekend.
Absolutely loving it. I'm just trying to work out whether we've got enough internet strength to watch the North London derby. We can watch this game live and then the Solheim Cup as well, but the Solheim Cup's magnificent, isn't it? The standard is outrageous. It's
unbelievable, and obviously the Ryder Cup to come as well next weekend. Such a great couple of weeks for team golf. The players are just coming out from the tunnel onto the pitch here at Anfield. The flags, as you expect, being waved high in the packed Kop end. And the players are just going to go through their pre-match routine. So let's just take you then through the team news. You may have been with us earlier on 5 Live and heard Mike Maine bring it to you. But for Liverpool, there are 3 changes to their starting 11 from the team that won at Wolves last weekend. So Becker in goal, then got back 4 of Gomez, Matip, Virgil van Dijk makes his return from suspension with Robertson as well. Then it's a 4-3-3. So then in midfield you've got Szoboszlai, McAllister with Jones, with Salah, Nunez and Diaz up front. And Stephen, what do you make then of Diaz and Nunez in particular coming back in? I think we were expecting Virgil van Dijk to return when he was able to, but Jurgen Klopp opting for his number 9 and number 7. It's perhaps an interesting one.
Well, I'd have gone with Diaz all day long. I think Luis Diaz is outstanding. I think he's the type of player who can individually change a game. I think Liverpool are a better team with him in it. He's more direct, he's more on the front foot, defensively sound as well. I think Nunez is the interesting one. I think he's obviously thought he's off the back of scoring in midweek, the confidence from scoring the penalty, and he feels that he can cause this West Ham backline problems, and it will be a physical battle against obviously Zuma and Gerd at the back.
Yeah, so the 3 players actually that we've mentioned there, the 3 changes today, are actually the only 3 to remain in this Liverpool starting 11 from the team that won in Europe on Thursday night. West Ham, a much simpler starting 11 to bring you. They are unchanged from their defeat to Manchester City last weekend. Again, of course, they played on Thursday night in Europe as well. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the next couple of hours, but let's take you through their starting 11. Areola in goal, then Soufal, Zuma, Agerd and Emerson. Then Souček and Edson Alvarez just in front of them, with Jarrod Bowen. He returns from illness after being a doubt all week for this game as he was recovering from a bug, with James Ward-Prowse, Paquetá and then Antonio up front. And Stephen, obviously West Ham did disappoint slightly last weekend against Manchester City, but David Moyes opting to stick with that same 11 really, I think, probably shows us that he does think that is his strongest starting 11, certainly in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the response from the team that West Ham have put out. A lot of people feeling that Kudus should have been playing here at Anfield. He caused Liverpool plenty of problems. I thought against Manchester City they caused West Ham caused them all kinds of problems. Constant threat on the break. We know how they play against the so-called bigger teams, if you like. They will sit in, they will contain, and they will look to hit on the counter-attack, and it suits their team with the speed that they've got.
Huge roar there as the familiar anthem rings out here around all 4 sides of Anfield. The captains have just gone through the pre-match routine with the officials. Liverpool all in a huddle at the moment in their half of the pitch. It looks like they are going to be defending the Kop in this first half. Liverpool wanting a big performance today because they did not start well, of course, at Wolverhampton Wanderers last Saturday. I was at that game and they were very, very sluggish indeed in the first half, and that's the big thing, I guess, Stephen, as well, from Jurgen Klopp. A much better first 45 he'll demand from his players today.
Yeah, and the one thing he won't want to do is concede the first goal. That's something that they've really suffered with of late. They suffered from it last season as well. It's imperative that they get off to a good start here, because if they don't, West Ham will punish them.
So household changes from both teams from their Europa League wins on Thursday night. Both sides coming from a goal down to win 3-1 in their first Europa League group games on Thursday, but plenty of changes from both managers back, we think, to their strongest starting 11s for this match in the Premier League, one which is one we're really looking forward to. Hopefully lots of goals ahead. So those two players that remaining for West Ham from Thursday night, Paquetá and James Ward-Prowse, both looked pretty good actually, as West Ham fought back to win that game at the London Stadium 3-1. And James Ward-Prowse is just standing in the centre circle now as we're preparing to get this game underway shortly. A reminder, this is of course one of 4 Premier League kickoffs at 2, and you can listen to all 4 games on the BBC. Arsenal against Tottenham, a really big North London derby as we just wait to get underway here. Bit of a false start there from James Ward-Prowse.
No, we've actually got an issue down below, Maz, with the referee. He's had an issue with his communication. I think they're just trying to sort that with the fourth official now.
Yeah, Chris Kavanagh's just got a bit of a tech issue, probably with his headset that obviously he communicates with the VAR officials at Stockley Park with. So the West Ham players just got a couple of balls on their half of the pitch, just knocking it about to stay warm. How big a bonus is it to have Jarrod Bowen back, do we think, for West Ham today, Stephen? He's obviously certainly looks to have grown in confidence since he obviously scored that huge goal for them in Europe at the end of last season. Yeah,
I think he's a vital member to West Ham's team. I think the direct style of play that he has, I think he's grown as a player. He's got more intelligence as he's matured, and I think what he's realising now is that he goes into games fearless. I think he believes that he can cause problems to any defender that he goes up against in a 1v1 situation, and he'll believe today that if Andrew Robertson isn't on it at his best, or he goes high up the pitch and leaves gaps in behind, he will create problems for him.
Mikel Antonio's just come over and had a little chat with David Moyes just in front of the West Ham technical area. Still got issues with Chris Kavanagh's headset, intercom, whatever it is that he uses to communicate with Stockley Park. As I was saying, this is one of 4 2 o'clock kickoffs, as there's a ride cheer from the stands here. Looks like whatever the issue was, tech issue with Chris Kavanagh, it is now sorted, and we are hopefully going to get underway. So slightly delayed start here. They are underway in the other 3 2 o'clock kickoffs. Arsenal Tottenham is over on 5 Live. Brighton Bournemouth and Chelsea Villa. You can listen to both those games online or via the BBC Sport website and app, and they are underway. No goals yet. 3 or 4 minutes gone, and we are now finally underway here on 5 Sports Extra between Liverpool and West Ham, a game which looks so eye-catching on paper when you see how both these teams have started this. What are you hoping for from Liverpool in the early stages of this game, Stephen Warner?
Well, to take the game to West Ham, I think it's something that they have to do. I think they need to start quickly. It's an old cliche, but if you don't start quickly against West Ham and you give them that sense that they can take something out of this game, I think they'll take it. From West Ham's point of view, it's being brave. It's making sure that when Liverpool do throw men forward and numbers forward, that they capitalise on that and they break quickly, which we all know that they can do.
And Liverpool playing in their all familiar home kit, all red, the white trim just around the collars and the shirt sleeves. They are indeed defending the Kop end in this first half, so attacking the Anfield Road stand, attacking from right to left as we watch from our position up here high in the main stand here at Anfield. It is though West Ham on the ball. Bowen feeding out now onto this right hand side. Soufal with the cross into the area. Alisson gets it clear, and then Liverpool able just to shepherd that one out of danger, out of the area and back towards the halfway line. West Ham in their all white away kit. It's like band across the chest, all white shorts and socks as well. Seeing plenty of the ball in the opening minute or so here on 5 Sports Extra at Anfield. And it's back with West Ham now in their half. Zoom on the ball, couple of boos. Former Chelsea man as well, of course, and he sends it out onto the far side. And West Ham would continue attack, try to feed the ball into Antonio, and Liverpool manage to get it clear. Certainly, I think from Jurgen Klopp's perspective, we are going to be hoping for more energy and more impetus from Liverpool in this first 45. And again, that's something they didn't really show on Thursday night either, Stephen.
No, they didn't. They struggled to adapt to the game. The pitch wasn't fantastic out in Austria, but what they have to do, they have to shift the ball quickly. They know the start West Ham have made already, dominating possession, that West Ham are confident. They believe that they can come here and get a result, and rightly so.
McAllister and Virgil van Dijk just knocking the ball amongst themselves at the moment. Alexis McAllister looking really tired last week at Molineux, substituted at half time. He was returning from international duty, barely hours really, before he was then asked to play in that half-12 kick-off on Saturday at Molineux. He's on the ball at the moment on the halfway line as Liverpool get it forward through Jones now down this left-hand channel. Feed it out to Diaz, just on this left-hand touchline as Liverpool attack the Anfield Road stand in the first few minutes of this game here at Anfield on Sports Extra. So West Ham all in white, playing from left to right as we watch, attacking the Kop end, but Liverpool now on the ball, seeing plenty of it deep into West Ham's half. And now they try to feed it into the area, and Darwin Núñez just gets caught slightly, just on his toe, right hand corner of the 18-yard box. But good to see him get back up on his feet and just, carry on playing there. No try get any claims or anything from the referee in the early stages. No,
definitely no penalty claim there from Darwin Núñez. It was just a coming together between the two players. I think they actually just stood on each other's feet.
How important is it for him as well, this game, the fact that Jurgen Klopp has offered to give him this start as West Ham play it out from the back, long ball forward now. Antonio chests that down, and good work from Virgil van Dijk and Matip to win back possession for Liverpool. And now there's a free kick just on the halfway line. It's an important statement, isn't it, from Jurgen Klopp to start Darwin Núñez in this game, particularly obviously after his performance on Thursday night.
It's incredible that we're talking about given an opportunity to a £60 million player, aren't we? But that's the way his career's gone so far at Liverpool. He's struggled to adapt. He's struggled to really force himself into the manager's thinking. However, his goals and his assists record is actually quite high. But it's the other side to the game. He has to do more with the link-up play. He has to be more of an all-round player.
There's Curtis Jones doing very well here at the moment to keep the ball away from Zuma, who's tracking him back, but Liverpool keep possession. Good applause there. The Liverpool fans like what they saw though for the number 17. And Liverpool going forward here again now. Matip on the ball, feeding it into Darwin Núñez in the area, back with Matip, now feeds it out to Salah on the right hand side. And West Ham get it out for throw-in, probably 12 yards or so out from the West Ham dead ball line, which they're going to take over on that far side. Salah with the ball in his hands at the moment, throws it over to Gomez, who's just going to take that by the level with the right hand corner of the 18-yard box, West Ham's half. McAllister makes the run forward, dinks it back to Gomez. Now West Ham do well with James Ward-Prowse to win it back, and then he nips it out on that far side again for another Liverpool throw-in. West Ham staying very concentrated at the moment in their half. Much better from Liverpool this in the early stages. Another Gomez throw-in, high into the area. Núñez goes up for it. West Ham win it. Now it's chested down by McAllister, and Liverpool continue to keep possession on that right-hand channel on the far side. All of Liverpool's outfield players up in West Ham's half at the moment, and they opt to switch play to Robertson on this side of the pitch. The other thing I thought was very interesting from Darwin Núñez when he came on, as Antonio now is on the ball and deep now into Liverpool's half, making the run down the left-hand channel. James Ward-Prowse making the run into the area to offer support. And Núñez, one of those players back there trying to win back possession for Liverpool. And goodness me, what a chance that was for West Ham. Souček there with a header. Alisson, I think, wasn't expecting it to come at him perhaps as quickly, and does well to tip that one clear for a corner.
That's a phenomenal save from Alisson, because he's at full stretch down to his bottom right. Souček finds himself free in the middle of the 6-yard box, no one round him. He powers the header down into the bottom right hand corner, and Alisson with a strong palm pushes it round for a West Ham corner. But there's the danger from West Ham. Mikel Antonio breaking down that left hand side, bringing others into play, and they get a chance from it.
Alisson really wasn't in the right kind of position there, had to do so much to manoeuvre his body as James Ward-Prowse takes the corner from the right hand side. In swinger, Liverpool get it clear, and then it's brought back into the area by West Ham. Now Matip gets it clear again now, down this left-hand side. And Diaz has got room to run at this now, and West Ham managed to win a bit of a cute free kick there, because Diaz was certainly free as he was making that run down the left. And it was good work from Aguirre there, just to win that free kick, just to break up that attack from Liverpool.
Well, that's what West Ham do so well. They recover into positions well, and are going to have to do that today. It looked like Diaz had the freedom of the left-hand side, but Aguirre getting back, making sure that he got the cover on, and it was a free kick. A little bit of a clip of the ankles from Luis Diaz.
So West Ham win the free kick, and they're on the ball at the moment. Souček with that header in the last couple of minutes, really good chance for the visitors here. Still goalless at the moment, but Bowen now with the 1-2 with Souček, and now back with West Ham on this right hand side. Souček on the ball again. Does he turn provider this time? Lovely lofted ball into the area, and Antonio tries to chest that down, head that down, and gets his timing all wrong there really, and that goes wide of Alisson's left hand post. That is a chance that Antonio should have done better with.
He should have scored. Should be 1-0. It should arguably be 2-0. And the save from Alisson early on. And then this time, it's a lovely floated ball from Souček, who had the header saved. Mikel Antonio, he would have been offside actually. He strays half a yard too early. But it's too easy from Liverpool's point of view. Defensively again, they're all over the place. And West Ham, they're dominating this game, and it's only 8 minutes into it, but they look like the team that's full of confidence, and they look like they're coming here to do a job on Liverpool.
Yes, Soufal doing really well down the right hand side, but now Liverpool have won back possession, and it's Nunez now who's trying to feed in Salah. Ball's misplaced though, and West Ham pick up possession in their own half and send it down now to the left hand side, and Antonio can't get on the end of that, and that will go out for a much needed throw-in for Liverpool on the halfway line. But yes, Liverpool not starting this game well, and Jurgen Klopp already the pacing at the edge of his technical area as we approach 9 minutes here on Sports Extra at Anfield, still 0-0.
They'd be furious with the start. They haven't started well enough, and we said that West Ham were a good team. We said they were confident, but they have that attacking threat, and they've shown that so far within 9 minutes to create 2 chances that could have cost them.
Virgil van Dijk though, leading as he does so often from the back, just managing to head that ball down and chest it down to safety, as Bowen is back on his feet after that little physical encounter with the Liverpool captain, clutching his left shoulder, but is back on his feet and jogging back into his position. Gomez sends it forward. That was for Nunez, but he's physical, out-muscled off the ball as West Ham continue to feed down this left-hand side. And the ball stays just in tight on that left-hand touchline. West Ham looking really confident on the ball at the moment. And it's back with James Ward-Prowse in the centre circle, and now Kurt Zouma on this right-hand side now with Soufal. Darwin Nunez not making an awful lot of an impact yet, Stephen.
No, not at all. This couple of times it's gone into him, and his link-up play hasn't been good enough. Really easy ball out to Mohamed Salah that he had a couple of moments ago, easily cut out by the West Ham players. But the West Ham players are moving the ball so well, 1 and 2 touch football, drawing Liverpool players out of position and finding space themselves.
Antonio just trying to chest that one down, but really good work from Matip to win the ball back for Liverpool. Some much needed possession, some much needed territory in the West Ham half for the home side here. 10.5 minutes, really have not seen very much at all from them going forward. 2 huge chances for West Ham at the end that Liverpool are defending in this first half. Virgil van Dijk back in the starting 11 after suspension, on the ball on the halfway line, just tapping about with McAllister at the moment. But off the ball, West Ham so organised in their structure, it's very congested in the middle of that West Ham half. And again, you can perhaps hear some frustration from some of the Liverpool fans around us here on the main stand, as they're not able to really find their way forward. Now it's with Jones down this left-hand channel. He's trying to feed in Robertson, and Robertson does well there to knock that ball off a West Ham player. That will be a Liverpool throw-in on this near side touchline.
I like Alvarez, really like him for West Ham. Understands how to cover his defenders, make sure he's getting in good position. He's almost like a Paulinho for Fulham, that type of player. Understands his role within the team and plays simple when he's on the ball, but very, very effective.
Yeah, slotted in really well, taken to the Premier League in this team really well. McAllister tried to feed in Robertson again on the left, but now Liverpool are forced out to the right and then forced out into making the mistake and losing possession, and West Ham very, very comfortable sending it forward again up to Antonio. And Liverpool trying to win back the ball and then winning a free kick, and that was a silly foul to give away there from Soufal. And this is the first opportunity that Liverpool will have in this game. 12 minutes on the clock, a free kick, pretty central, 30 yards or so out. First real opportunity to test Areola in goal. Yeah,
Szoboszlai will look at this, he'll fancy this, he hits that knuckleball that he likes to try and dip under the crossbar. It is, like you say, from 30 yards out, but the wind is swirling around Anfield. It's really windy in our position up here in the main stand. But he is a very confident player. He'll believe that this is the right distance to get it up and down from such a nice angle, really.
Yeah, got a couple of people interested in this as the free kick is taken. It's Szoboszlai and doesn't beat the wall. Disappointing that for Liverpool from their first set piece opportunity, and instead McAllister feeds it into Salah, edge of the area. Then West Ham again pick up possession. Great work that again by Paquetá. West Ham with all the momentum and all the possession at the moment as Antonio now feeds in Souček, and now Soufal on this right hand side. Back with Souček in the centre circle. All of Liverpool's outfield players back in their half, and it just hasn't looked very flat from Liverpool in the opening stages here. All of our 2 o'clock commentaries, all 4 games in the Premier League that kicked off of 2, all goalless at the moment, I believe. Remember, you can listen to Arsenal, Tottenham, North London Derby over on 5 Live. The games as well via the BBC Sport website and app, as Salah's dispossessed again on the far side, and then cynical foul there, really. It's just
the feet from Paquetá. It's a few times he showed the ball to Liverpool defenders and then he's sold them a little step over. McAllister goes for it under pressure. He's so confident on the ball.
Really nice work there from Paquetá, and it is a free kick for West Ham on the far side in their own half. 14 minutes or so on the clock here on 5 Sports Extra here at Anfield. Liverpool, West Ham still goalless, but a couple of really good early chances for West Ham in this game already. Liverpool still all back in their half. Souček feeding it out to Edson Alvarez, and now the ball's with Paquetá on the far side. West Ham making the move forward down that left hand channel. That's it forced out to try and win back possession, and then West Ham with some real aggression to win the ball back, and now the cross comes in from the left hand side to this near side area. And Liverpool managed to win the ball back again. Núñez now feeding in Diaz on this left hand side. He's made the run now midway into Liverpool's half, feeding in Núñez, and the ball was just behind him, and it's picked up there by Salah, and he goes down, and it is a penalty. And it was just quick work there from the Liverpool number 11. West Ham just caught there. Agard getting his feet all tangled up. It really does look like that was a penalty, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, it's a clear penalty. They just turned defence into attack so quickly, Liverpool. Good work from Diaz down the left hand side, and it's very fortuitous how it goes into the path of Mohamed Salah, because Núñez makes a run centrally. Diaz tries to find him, and it ricochets off the heel, and it just wrong foots Agard, falls into the path of Mohamed Salah, and he just nips inside and gets his heels clipped. Clear penalty, and it'll be Salah who steps up.
Yeah, Salah has just placed the ball on the spot here as the referee blows his whistle. Salah run up and powers it into the back of the net. No doubt about that penalty whatsoever. He got the height, he got the power on it. Areola with absolutely no chance whatsoever. And despite having all the best chances, those really good opportunities in the early stages here, it is Liverpool who have the lead at Anfield, 1-0 over West Ham.
Well, his record's not great, Mohamed Salah, from the penalty spot. There'll have been a little bit of nervous tension from him stepping up to him. You could see it when he fizzed that ball into the right hand side, that when it came back out he just belted the ball again, almost as in a stress relief from him. But it's a big penalty, and it became at the ideal time for Liverpool because they were under immense pressure from West Ham. They haven't been the better team. They don't deserve to be ahead, but they find themselves ahead.
Yeah, the narrative's very similar almost to what we saw at Molineux last week, in that they rode so much pressure and then were able to turn it around in the second half. But they turned it around in the first 17 minutes here. Mo Salah with the penalty, Liverpool ahead, and now they've got some energy, now they've got some impetus as Diaz again on the ball, just on the halfway line. Couple of West Ham players trying to get the toe in there to dispossess Liverpool, and Robertson's able to win the throw-in just in front of his man and just in front of the Liverpool technical area as he sends it back to Boslai's now on the ball there, back with Alisson in the Liverpool goal. And you do think back, don't you, to that great save from that Souček header from Alisson. What a moment that was, and obviously if West Ham have been able to make the most of that, it could be a very different situation here that Liverpool find themselves in.
Yeah, and that's the difference with having a world-class keeper in Alisson, and that's what Liverpool fans realise. They realise that they're fortunate to have him. They know he's one of the best in the world, but I've been here so many times where he has pulled them out of it, and he's made save upon save, and then Liverpool effectively go down the other end, score a goal, and you often forget about what he's done, but that was a magnificent save.
Given the slow starters, Liverpool just happy to knock the ball about their defence, their midfield. Boslai is now on the ball and feeds it back to Alisson again, and we've just been talking about his brilliant save. Do you think there's that much, even at this early stage of the season, the fact that Liverpool had to play away on Thursday night, as Nunez is over the halfway line now and Diaz is making the run, but Zuma manages to win back the ball for West Ham, and then Robertson tracks back and regains it again for Liverpool. Anything in the fact that they had to play away, obviously in Austria on Thursday night, and West Ham were playing at home. I mean, does that make a difference this early on in the season? Fatigue and the matches coming so thick and fast already?
It does make a difference in the terms of travel, but Liverpool are used to it. They understand it, and might take them sort of 20-30 minutes just to find the legs again. But
Robertson sending the ball cross field to Salah, who is unmarked on the far side of the area, and then the ball's fed in from Gomez, and it's Nunez down just on the edge of the 6-yard box. He says he was brought down. Referee's not interested. It would be a Liverpool set piece.
Well, we know it will be looked at from VAR because every incident in the penalty area is. But Darwin Nunez, he goes to the ground far too easily under the challenge of Alvarez. Nothing in it for me.
Yeah, he does go down relatively easily, Nunez. So it's going to be a corner for Liverpool from the left as they attack in this first half. In-swing corner, and it's just blasted over the crossbar there. Virgil van Dijk, I think that was, with the left-footed shot, and he gives a thumbs up for the delivery from that corner from Andy Robertson.
Yeah, I just don't think he sees it. I think he's expecting someone to get a header on it, and he just stabs a leg at it at the last second, connects with it, but just fires it over the bar. If he'd have anticipated it coming to him, defenders missing it, he might have got better connection on it.
And coming up to 20 minutes on the clock here on 5 Sports Extra, Liverpool with the 1-0 lead here at Anfield. No other goals to tell you about in the moment, as Alisson comes way out of his area and gives away a bit of a silly moment there for Liverpool, for West Ham to have another opportunity at their set piece of their own. I
just wonder whether that was the wind, because I honestly do. I think when the way he came out, I didn't think the ball had bounced that high or move in the way it did, and it caught him by surprise. Alisson, he's fortunate that he got ahead to it and put it out for a corner.
It's going to be, the wind is swirling inside Anfield here, and it's going to be James Ward-Prowse corner, which he's going to take from the right as West Ham attack the Kop end. He's just having a bit of a chat with the assistant referee there. Now places the ball on the spot. Coming up to 21 minutes on the clock here. Can West Ham make one of these chances count? Raises his left arm, then moves the ball into the area, and it's sent out to the edge of the D. Another shot comes in that's blocked by West Ham player, and then Robertson hacks it clear going forward, and Diaz is chasing after that one, Salah as well, and it goes out for a throw-in on the far side.
Oh, he's unlucky, Andrew Robertson, because he spots that Diaz and Salah are free down that right-hand side, tries that sidewinder to the right-hand side. The switch of play just trickles out of play, but great effort from him.
How difficult is it playing in these kind of conditions here?
It's difficult because you want to keep the ball on the floor, but obviously the ball in behind is such a difficult one. to deal with, and it's one of those passes that you want to hit. So it's going to be full concentration from the players and almost expect the unexpected.
Liverpool with the ball at the moment, just on the halfway line now in the centre circle with McAllister. Now Matip on the far side as he makes the run midway into West Ham's half now, is looking for options. Szoboszlai provides one, edge of the centre circle. Now Virgil van Dijk just blasted the ball over the crossbar in the last couple of minutes from that Robertson corner. Robertson involved here down the left hand side. Szoboszlai again. He's been a really good signing and made a really good impact here at Anfield, hasn't he, Szoboszlai, since he came in? Yeah,
he's an outstanding footballer. I think when you talk about all-round game, athletically he looks an absolute beast of a player. When he runs past players, he's got that second, third, fourth gear to be able to step it up and seize a pass, and can also execute a pass as well.
So Liverpool now much more comfortable. Now they've got this goal, now they've ridden some early West Ham pressure, and it's a nice little 1-2 there, attempted 1-2 there with Robertson and Diaz, but Liverpool managed to retain possession just on the halfway line. It's been another goal in one of the other 2 o'clock games. Bournemouth have taken the lead at Brighton, 26 minutes on the clock there as Salah tries to feed in Gomez on the far side into the area. Overrun though, and it will be a West Ham goal kick. Big news from North London derby, Stephen. Arsenal have taken the lead in that one midway through the first half. I know some Tottenham fans who won't be very happy with that.
Now that is a big scoreline.
That is huge, isn't it? Huge moment there.
I think it's interesting because it was to see where Tottenham are at and see whether Arsenal are potentially going to challenge for that title again, which we all believe that they will.
Yeah, really interesting to see if Ange Postecoglou's team can respond. That's what we needed to see from them, as Soufal's brought down there by Andy Robertson, and he thought there was nothing in that. West Ham look like they're going to get this free kick then in a interesting spot. It's 6 yards or so inside the Liverpool dead ball line. Very tight angle from this right hand side, but this has got a James Ward-Prowse delivery all over it, Stephen.
Yeah, it has, and he's one of the reasons that they keep on scoring from set pieces. The delivery into the box is quite brilliant from James Ward-Prowse, and we had Kevin Nolan on 5 Live a couple of weeks ago on the Friday night show, and what he was saying was, now you've got players knowing that they can tack certain areas, and he will put it into that area and allow those players to try and get on the end of it.
Interesting that Matip is keeping a very, very close eye on Mikel Antonio in that Liverpool area, as the free kick does come across from the far side, and kind of miss header there from Souček means that it goes over everyone really, and now Liverpool have a good a counter-attacking opportunity here. The ball's been moved very quickly forward. Salah brought down by James Ward-Prowse, and Liverpool doing very well there to make the most of another set-piece opportunity for them. This is the left-hand side of West Ham's half, midway through their half, but really good quick counter-attacking play there from Liverpool to get out of that they've won this set piece themselves from a West Ham set piece.
Yeah, they keep on switching the play extremely well. What Liverpool are doing is that they're sensing the weak spots of West Ham from counter-attacks, and more often than not they've picked the right pass.
So Liverpool free kick opportunity now. Andy Robertson takes it, lofts it into the area, headed down across the face of goal. Diaz tries to keep that one in, and it's going to be a Liverpool thrown on this near side touchline midway through West Ham's half. Takes it quickly, throws it forward to Diaz, who wins another throw in for Liverpool, couple of yards inside the dead ball line. Again, it's taken by Andy Robertson. Szoboszlai feeds it more centrally back to Matip in the centre circle, and then switches play out on the right to Gomez. And now Salah's making that familiar mazy run more centrally. Tries to get the cross in from the right for Liverpool, and that ball will go out for a West Ham goal kick.
It's been better from Liverpool though. They've come back into the game, they've calmed down after that goal. West Ham haven't quite recovered from the goal themselves. They haven't been able to get back on the ball and dominate possession like they did in the first 10 minutes or so.
Ariella takes this goal kick for West Ham. Souček heads it up to Bowen on this right-hand channel. Then Bowen goes down, coming together with Virgil van Dijk, and the Liverpool fans don't think much of that, but he's certainly gone down. Is that rubbing his left ankle, I think?
I think it's just as Van Dijk wins the ball, he comes down onto the knee of Jarrod Bowen. The assistant referee was right in front of the incident. He saw it. And he just rolls his stud down his knee. They can be sore. I don't think there was any intent for it to happen. I don't think it's a free kick.
Bowen is now back up. He's just crouching on his haunches for a bit. It isn't a free kick, it's a West Ham throw-in, which Souček is going to take on this near side touchline midway through Liverpool's half. His orange boots on, throws up to Mikel Antonio, edge of the area. He goes down under a Matip challenge. Liverpool pick up possession, and the ball's moved forward now for Diaz to run into just on this left-hand channel. Now he's into the area, trapped by Soufal. Sends it back to Szoboszlai, edge of the area. Now McAllister in the D, shot wide of the left-hand post.
We talk about that switch of play, finding the right pass. Mikel Antonio's under pressure. It goes to Alisson, who feeds it out to Curtis Jones in the middle of the pitch, and then he hits a lovely diagonal ball to Diaz to set Liverpool away. He just can't quite get the ball out from under his feet, and then they work it into a central position, and McAllister never really looked confident, just dragged that shot past the left-hand post.
Well, he certainly looked jet-lagged, frankly, at times last weekend, so better from the Liverpool number 10 so far in this first half here today. It's going to be a throw-in on the far side for West Ham, just inside their half. So Liverpool goal up here as West Ham have possession on the halfway line. Arsenal a goal up in the North London derby. That one's over on 5 Live. Brighton are trailing at home to Bournemouth. You can listen to that one online. It's still 0-0 between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Those games a couple of minutes ahead of us here because we obviously had the technical issues for our referee before kick-off here, so we're coming up to 29 minutes played here on 5 Sports Extra as Ariola distributes the ball forward to the halfway line. Antonio tries to win that one, but Liverpool and McAllister and Salah combining well, and now Salah feeds it out on the right hand side as Liverpool try to make the run forward. He makes the run into the area. It's back with McAllister, and now Liverpool on that right hand side. Now Salah level with the edge of the 18-yard box, forward from Gomez, headed back and hacked clear by West Ham, picked up again by Liverpool. The header from Virgil van Dijk in the centre circle, and Robertson now with the ball on this near side touchline on the left for Liverpool. Szoboszlai switches play, as Steve's been talking about, out onto the right for Liverpool. Gomez and Jones, and now good solid tackle that from West Ham to put the ball out for a throw-in on the far side.
Just finding it difficult, West Ham, to stop Liverpool's midfielders getting on the ball. They're dropping off the West Ham midfield. And the West Ham midfield are more worried about Nunez and Salah and Diaz, so they're trying to protect that back four. They can't get out at the moment. They can't find that out ball.
Really feels like that goal has really almost come as a sucker punch to their confidence, doesn't it, as well, in the
definitely
first half hour of this game. They started so brightly. It's been all Liverpool for the last 10-15 minutes or so since they got their goal. Szoboszlai and Salah, the goal scorer, of course, won the penalty and then scored the penalty as well, when Liverpool had to really ride some early pressure from West Ham. They've got their goalkeeper Alisson to thank for a brilliant save from the Souček header in the early stages, but they do have the lead now, as Jurgen Klopp just yells some instructions from his technical area, wants some adjustments from his Liverpool 11. Diaz on the ball at the moment, and West Ham just need to up their energy levels, don't they, to try and get back into this game, as trying to win the ball there, then eagerness. They give away the free kick for Liverpool.
It's difficult because in the early stages of the game, Liverpool weren't moving the ball quick. They weren't making runs. They were static in the way they were playing. Now they've got movement. Now they've got the ball shifting quickly. It's very difficult for West Ham to track those players.
And a loop ball from Salah feeding in Jones down the right hand channel. Liverpool with the throw-in on the far side, just level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Jones going to take it to the feet of Salah, chests it down. He's trapped there, surrounded by 3 West Ham players who try to win back possession, but only give away another throw-in on that far side. West Ham really flat after starting so well 31.5 minutes played here on 5 Sports Extra, and they are trailing despite some really good opportunities early doors. Virgil van Dijk in the centre circle now with Szoboszlai, and it's just some very confident passing now, and a lovely looping ball over the top from Gomez, and then Salah trying to feed in Nunez there. I don't know if Nunez thought he was in an offside position there, which is why I didn't attempt to get anything on that ball, as West Ham tried to get it clear. And now indeed are over the half line. Bowen, and then McAllister doing well to get the ball out of play on this near side touchline for a West Ham throw, but Jones is down, requiring a bit of treatment here, so we will have a bit of a pause in play as he gets the physio to come in and just have a look. Yeah,
he's just caught by Souček in the middle of the park, and you were saying that they just can't get quite close enough to the Liverpool players, and Souček this time, he's got hold of his arm, and then he slides on the floor and then takes out Curtis Jones's ankle. It should have been a foul initially for the tug of the arm, but he's thumping the floor, Curtis Jones. He's obviously in a lot of pain from that incident. It sparked a little bit of a movement on the bench from Liverpool players.
Yes, Tsimikas, one of those, gone off to warm up, hasn't he, in case Jurgen Klopp is forced into an early substitution here. It's funny, isn't it, to think that Liverpool obviously have made this really good start to the season, especially when we compare it to last year, but they haven't been convincing in the performances we've seen here today, or indeed last week. Their form in terms of their wins and their unbeaten record kind of masks really the fact that it isn't all quite clicking for them yet.
No, not quite, but they are a work in progress. They've got a brand new midfielder, well, 2 new midfielders in there. Gravenberch will obviously be added into that equation as well. They still don't have that sitting player, so they're adjusting the way that they play, and that does take time. The big thing for Jurgen Klopp, he'll be saying, okay, it's not quite clicking, but we're finding a way to win.
That's Stephen Wardant with us here on 5 Sports Extra here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0, 34 minutes on the clock. And that's the noise of the Liverpool fans wanting the referee to allow Curtis Jones back onto the pitch.
Well, it's 30 seconds, and that's what Liverpool fans are forgetting. They're not understanding that. That's the rule. It's 30 seconds now to let the player back on the pitch.
Jones is back on the pitch, and Liverpool are back with the ball. Robertson feeding in Diaz on this left-hand side. Now, Jones, one of those getting involved. He's still looking a bit ginger on his feet, but he is jogging back into his position, Curtis Jones, as Virgil van Dijk sweeps the ball back to him on this near side touchline. And West Ham looking a bit static at the moment, in truth, as they attempt to try and find something from this game before half time. Virgil van Dijk to Gomez, shows perhaps a little bit of the ball to Mikel Antonio, but manages to get it clear. He's making the really nice run forward, feeding in Diaz down this left hand side. He crosses the ball into the area to the far side. Salah was trying to run onto that, and Emerson was aware of the danger for West Ham, but then a bit of lapse defending allows Salah back with the ball, and again has to hack it clear for West Ham.
He's brilliant, Szoboszlai. When you watch him, his awareness of people around him, a lovely little back heel to split the 2 West Ham players and put Salah into that penalty box. But Liverpool continue to come again.
Coming up to 10 minutes till half time. Diaz feeding in, Liverpool the edge of the area, and he has indeed won a free kick in a decent area. And the first yellow card of this match will be shown to a West Ham player. Alvarez, the player bringing down Diaz there, and the first yellow card, first caution of this game, is shown to the West Ham number 19.
Yeah, it was just cynical from Alvarez. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that Diaz had the run on him and that he was going to get him behind. It was right in front of the referee, who was just watching, and he sort of gave a wry smile as if to say, I was right in front of you, how did you not think I was going to miss that?
Yeah, Chris Kavanagh in the right position absolutely to see that infringement, award Liverpool this free kick. It's just to the left hand side of the D, probably 20 yards or so out from the goal line for Liverpool. And Szoboszlai having a very intense chat with Mo Salah about how they're going to approach this. Liverpool, as the referee's just going to the wall just to have a bit of a word with the West Ham players, and they've got the old draft excluder in there as well. West Ham
I'm glad they didn't have that when I was playing.
Would you always have been the draft excluded, do you think?
Hope not. I was always the blocker. I was always the one that they said, go on, you go and close it down, you're stupid.
Szoboszlai and Salah both look interested in this. Looks perhaps like the Egypt man is setting himself the run here. Is Szoboszlai though, and again, free kick does not beat the wall. Liverpool pick up the ball though again. Robertson with Gomez. Disappointing couple of free kicks from Liverpool in this first half, but they do still have their 1-goal lead, of course, as West Ham players make the runs forward here, but not seeing very much of the ball at the moment. With Gomez on the far side, now McAllister over the halfway line for Liverpool. Jones is at the edge of the centre circle, but he switches it out to this left-hand side to Robertson. And Szoboszlai's there as well, and again, West Ham struggling to see much of the ball at the moment. No other goals to tell you about in the other 2 o'clock kickoffs. Still goalless between Chelsea and Villa. Brighton trailing at home to Bournemouth, and Arsenal still with a 1-goal lead over Tottenham. Those games approaching the last 5 minutes of the first half. Here we have 37.5 minutes on the clock here, and Liverpool will be happy with what they have managed to accomplish in this first half at the moment, riding some early pressure and then getting the advantage through that Mo Salah penalty. Diaz was chasing down Areola there as he managed to get the ball clear, but that pressure has worked for Liverpool, and Szoboszlai now feeds in Diaz, and then the ball from Mo Salah just wide of the left-hand post. That was all caused though by the pressure that Diaz did put on Areola in the West Ham goal. Yeah, it was brilliant pressure from him, and then ball into central midfield unopposed. McAllister nods it down to Szoboszlai, and he just hits a ball with the outside of his foot that's inch perfect into Diaz. Quickly turns, sets his teammate up, Salah, and how often do we expect Salah to hit the back of the net from there? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It just bounces up as he's about to hit it, and he almost shins it as he hits it. It's not the best connection from Mohamed Salah. Liverpool in midweek, Klopp was saying that he really likes the look of the potential as West Ham are going to win a free kick here just inside the Liverpool half. He really likes the look of the potential of this, what he calls new Liverpool. And we get what he means there, I suppose, in terms of what you're saying there about all the new players that they are trying to bed in at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. It's trying to get an understanding between the players and quickly trying to make them gel. It won't happen overnight. Some players will gel quicker with other players, but I think he's called it the Liverpool 2.0, hasn't he? Yeah. Soufal is going to take this throw in for West Ham on this near side touchline. Big long throw into the area, but Liverpool get it clear, and James Ward-Prowse in a foot race there with Salah, and well, good work there from Aguerd to just turn at 360 degrees and keep the ball protected away from the onrushing Mo Salah. West Ham a decent bit of possession then just at the end of this first half. Can they make it count? Bowen's making the run forward into the area now. He tries to get it past a Liverpool player, and he managed to pick up possession again now, and then Bowen and Soucek rather just with a shot there that he didn't quite get onto properly, I don't think, and the ball goes wide of the left-hand post. Well, David Moyes is furious down in front of us. He feels that there should have been a foul on Jarrod Bowen a couple of times as he went into the box, but McAllister times the challenge outstandingly well. There was hearts in mouths of the Liverpool fans, and then as it comes out to Soucek, just drags his shot across goal, and fortunately for Liverpool it takes a deflection, and unluckily for Soucek. Bowen did go down, but McAllister timing that tackle really well, in the corner from James Ward-Prowse is headed over by a Liverpool player, and so it'll be a corner from the right this time for James Ward-Prowse as we approach the last 4 minutes or so of this first half here at Anfield. Wicked delivery. It really is. When he's swinging the ball inwards, it's such a difficult ball to deal with. Andrew Robertson just knew he had to get something on it, because if he doesn't, it's going to cause problems for his goalkeeper. He's just placing the ball down in the corner spot now, James Ward-Prowse, who's going to take this corner again from the right this time as West Ham attack the Kop. Flashes that ball in. West Ham head goes up. Liverpool managed to get it through Andy Robertson, who hoosed that one upfield for Mo Salah to chase on the halfway line. He's tracked by Aguerd, and then Paquetá on the far side with the ball for West Ham as Souček tries to build West Ham possession again going forward. Bowen's made a decent run forward, chests it back and heads it back for Mikel Antonio. And now Soufal with the floating ball in from the right hand side, and that goes in off the post from Jared Bowen. The header wasn't hugely powerful, but I think a combination of Alisson and perhaps the goalpost as well just saw that one sort of bobble over into the back of the net. And West Ham probably think from their earlier play in this half that they do deserve the equaliser, and now it has come a couple of minutes before half time. West Ham have drawn level here at Liverpool.
Well, if we were talking about Liverpool scoring this goal, we'd be waxing lyrical about it. This is an outstanding goal from West Ham. Paquetá with a lovely ball over the top to Jared Bowen, who makes a run in behind Andrew Robertson, sets it down to Mikel Antonio, and Bowen wants it again. He gets in front of Virgil van Dijk. Diving header in front of Van Dijk, who thinks he's just going to clear it comfortably, but the quality of the header, the accuracy of the header is what beats Alisson. He can't get anywhere near it, in off the post, and that is a quite brilliant goal from West Ham.
It's the same sort of area where Alisson managed to make that save from Souček in the first opening minutes. This time just couldn't get there and sees the ball, watches the ball bounce off his right hand post and into the back of the net for the West Ham equaliser. What a time for that to come as well, just a couple of minutes before half time. David Moyes will be delighted that his side have been able to draw level in that way.
Yeah, well, both managers will be hugely frustrated that when they're on top in the game that they concede, and that's what's happened to both teams here. It's been a great game, it really has.
Yeah, the quality in front of goal has been excellent at times from both sides, as Nunez attempts to link up there with Salah, but West Ham with a bounce in their step now, chasing and pressing and hassling Liverpool, and Gomez is forced out on the far side for a Liverpool throw-in deep inside their own half. Coming up to 44 minutes played here. No other goals to tell you about in the other 2 o'clock games in the Premier League, but plenty of goalmouth action here, that's for sure, as the ball is looped forward for Diaz to chase. And then Szoboszlai and McAllister linking up now. Then Matip sends it out on this left-hand side for Robertson, who's urged forward by these Liverpool fans. Diaz and now Nunez making the run more centrally. Szoboszlai, central position but quite far out. Thought about shooting, then opted to switch it out again to Diaz on the left-hand side, who's just paused to assess his options. Szoboszlai with a nice floating ball into the area, and a brilliant goal there from Curtis Jones. Oh, and his offside flag has gone up. Where to start with that is what a pass that was from Szoboszlai that Curtis Jones was trying to run onto. We're obviously going to have another look at this, Stephen Warnock, but it was a quite lovely ball.
Yeah, you can make a run. You know you can make runs with this guy, and he'll try and pick you out as best as he can. Curtis Jones, he's just a fraction too early. He almost nodded as if he knew himself that he'd gone too early, and he didn't have to. Such was the quality of the ball from Szoboszlai into Curtis Jones. This is what's frustrating. I can see that straight away. That's offside.
We don't need to see the replay this many times.
Unless you've got Kurt Zouma in the bottom of the picture, but for me it just looks so obvious that it's offside.
His shoulder's just the wrong side of Emerson here. I think Curtis Jones, I mean, I'm with Stephen here. I think you can see that pretty obviously from the first replay that he is offside, but I guess they're just belt and braces it, drawing the lines on just to see, but it looks pretty obvious from what we can see there that the on-the-field decision was correct, and you can hear the cheer there from the away fans because that Curtis Jones effort has indeed been ruled out in the last couple of seconds of this first half. So, Areola with the kick forward. You just hear confirmation there over the tannoy. Thankfully that VAR check did not take too long though, as Mikel Antonio's making the move forward there, brought down by Gomez, and just about Liverpool managed to steal possession back as they go for one last attack perhaps in this first half. Salah down the right hand side, Emerson Miller's tracking back, and Nunez, and that strike was straight at Areola. But that's the first time we've really seen any kind of link-up play, really, a promise between Salah and Nunez yet in this match.
Yeah, it was, and it was a lovely slide ball from Mohamed Salah into Nunez, and he makes a well-timed run, and Areola does extremely well, because I think he thinks that he's going to go near post, and he tries to drag it to the far post, and he gets his footwork a little bit wrong. It's a really good smart save from Areola.
2 minutes of stoppage time by the way at the end of this first half. We have played, by my watch, 90 seconds of that, so not too much play perhaps left at the end of this first half. West Ham, though, drawing level, if you're David Moyes, you'd imagine, at just the perfect time back in this game, as Jarrod Bowen, the goal scorer, been in a bit of the wars. He's back up on his feet again, just jogging back to his position. He's just been down on the turf for a couple of minutes, and he's just again clutching his arm, I think, there. So perhaps one to watch in the second half. Liverpool on the ball on the far side. McAllister now in the centre circle. Salah making the run down the right hand channel. He wants the ball, he's fed it now. It's been trapped by Emerson, and then Gomez now back to Salah, just level with the right hand corner of the 18-yard box. So Bosley, McAllister, Salah again. Chance perhaps for one last opportunity for Liverpool in this first half, but Emerson's able to get it clear, and McAllister mistimes that, and that will go out for a West Ham free kick in their own half. I make it that we've played our time at the end of this first half, probably another 15 seconds or so to go here on 5 Sports Extra. West Ham in no rush to take this throw in on the far side. Bit of Liverpool pressure, manages to win back possession. Jones, who thought he'd scored to put Liverpool ahead again in the last couple of minutes, effort disallowed, has allowed plenty of time on the ball in this first half. West Ham aren't happy because they've got a player down on the far side, Antonio, on his haunches. He is back on his feet now, and Liverpool continue to play the ball forward. So Bosley feeding in Jones, and now McAllister, edge of the D. Jones again to Bosley, thinks about sending it forward, sends it right instead. Gomez on this one, and the ball's deflected off a West Ham head, and this is perhaps the last opportunity of this first half, and it's going to be a decent one if he can get the delivery right, as we've seen him do so often, Stephen, because Bosley, a corner from the right for Liverpool. Yeah,
it has to be quality. Don't rush it. We know it's towards the end of the half, but they should allow you to take this corner, and they've got the big guys up from the back.
Everybody's up apart from Andy Robertson, who's just dwelling in the edge of the centre circle. Corner comes in from the right centre of Bosley. Virgil van Dijk gets that one down, he thought, to Jones, I think it was, and just couldn't get the ball out from underneath his feet, and West Ham lived to get that one clear. And now just perhaps expecting this half-time whistle as Becker sends it out on the far side to his defenders, and Liverpool have possession again on the right-hand side down that channel. Robertson's up there now, making the run into the area, and he's surrounded by Antonio and another West Ham player, and thought he'd won the foul, and the referee disagrees.
Yeah, he goes down, Andrew Robertson. He just slips, and then I think he handles the ball and gives the free kick away. But yeah, he's just surrounded by a couple of players, just loses his footing, and then swipes the ball away with his hand.
And that is going to be the last bit of play of this first half. So, wow, we've had a lot of interesting moments. Liverpool riding some really early pressure to begin with. Fantastic save by Alisson Becker from a Souček header. And then a fortuitous, really, moment that allowed Liverpool to take advantage of that. Salah brought down, definitely a penalty, but the ball kind of miscued off Darwin Núñez into his feet, and then he was brought down, but he rifled home the penalty before a really good header from Jarrod Bowen just before half-time, drawing West Ham back level. And I guess Stephen Warnock, given how West Ham started the game, they will think that they deserve to be level at half-time, but both managers, I imagine, will have positives and negatives for their players in their half-time tee talks. Yeah, they will, and you're right in what you say. I think that the game is probably the correct scoreline at the moment. It should be a draw. Both had opportunities. Alisson making an unbelievable save early on in the game, which kept the game at 0-0, and then Liverpool go down the other end and score the penalty. But it's been a hugely entertaining game of football. It's been very enjoyable to watch, and a lot of work for both managers to do at half-time. And just to bring you up to date with some of the other scores then, still no goals at half-time between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Brighton have equalised, so it's now Brighton 1, Bournemouth 1, and Tottenham have equalised at the Emirates as well. So it is 1-1 in the North London derby. That is a huge goal, I imagine, that was celebrated by the away section at the Emirates. So we will be back for second half commentary for you here on 5 Sports Extra in the next 10-15 minutes or so. But let's join 5 Live then with news from the Emirates and from the rest of the day's matches so far.
Transport.
Security forces in Kosovo have surrounded at least 30 armed gunmen in a monastery in a northern village where hours earlier a police officer was shot dead. Kosovo's Prime Minister has accused Serbia of backing what he called a terrorist attack that also injured another officer. Tensions have been running high in the country after violent clashes followed a disputed local election in May. And NASA is awaiting a delivery of asteroid dust, which could reveal new details about how the planets were formed. A probe was released from a spacecraft earlier and will land in the US state of Utah at around 4 p.m. Our science correspondent, Rebecca Morell, is waiting for the landing in Salt Lake City.
That final descent is going to be perilous. It will be travelling at 27,000 miles an hour through the atmosphere, experiencing temperatures of 3,000 degrees Celsius. After that, 2 parachutes will open and hopefully that will take it down for a soft landing.
Rebecca Morell waiting patiently in Salt Lake City there.
Is that the Leicester locomotive coming in?
Hello, Radio 2 in the park. Tears for
Leicester, you were incredible. Don't miss a single moment from Victoria Park.
Everybody knows this one.
Oh, come on, Leicester.
Let me hear you. Radio 2 in the park.
Leicester.
What a weekend.
Experience the roar of the Victoria Park crowd for yourself.
Yes, Leicester.
Just search Radio 2 in the park.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Watch on iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Remember, you can listen to all of the 2 o'clock games in the Premier League between 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website. They are all level. Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Liverpool, West Ham, all drawing at half-time. And it's also all square on the final day of the Solheim Cup in Spain. Catherine Downs is there.
Yes, Steve, it could not be tighter here at the Costa del Sol. 4 matches completed, 2 of them going the way of the USA, 2 of them going the way of Europe. And of the matches out on the course still, 4 going the way of Europe and 4 going the way of the USA. This is super dramatic stuff, Lydia Hall.
This is the edge of the seat stuff. If you need to go to the bathroom, you need to make a cup of tea, need to make lunch, don't do it, because this is on a knife edge. It could go either way here.
Where's the momentum going? Because so often it's all about those shifts in momentum, the roars for Europe carrying the players forward, then the USA peg them back. Where's the momentum at the moment? Because you cannot drive a paper between these 2 teams.
You can't. What I will say is that you've got a couple of matches in favour in the American side, Vu being 3 up and Thompson being 2 up. On the European side, our matches are only 1 up, so they are really, really tight. So I'd say at the moment, unfortunately, the USA have got a slight advantage in a couple of matches.
So it's all evenly balanced here, Steve. Everything on the course is equally divided between the USA and Europe, and then the scores as well, 10-10. We came into this final day's singles at 8-8, a share of the spoils so far, 10 points each between the USA and Europe. Europe need 4 more points to retain the cup, and the USA need 4.5 more points to win the cup, and it is going to go down to the wire. It is so exciting. It's such a superb showcase of women's golf here on the Costa del Sol.
And if you want to listen to commentary of it, you can do that right now via the BBC Sport website and app. Our feature game in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon is a couple of minutes away from getting underway. 3rd versus 4th, Rangers against Motherwell. Gavin Wallace.
Afternoon, Steve. The visitors will be hoping Rangers struggle after their midweek endeavours of the Europa League. Rangers beating the Real Betis Spanish heat. It's muggy here in Glasgow, 18 degrees, so Michael Beale's men will be wanting to keep building momentum as they look to leapfrog Motherwell, who are a place and a point ahead of them in the league, as you say. However, the visitors remain unbeaten on the road under Stuart Kettlewell. Not even Ange Postecoglou could beat them. Rangers with 3 changes from midweek. Wright, Lammers and Dessers in. Sima and Roof are benched. Lawrence is injured. And Paul McGinn returns from suspension for Motherwell as we're about to get underway here at Ibrox.
Also underway in the next minute in the game between Aberdeen and Ross County. In the early match in the Championship, it finished Stoke City 1, Hull City 3. Seconds away from kick-off at the Stadium of Light for Sunderland Cardiff. Jojo Saka.
Yes, Tony Mowbray says his young Sunderland side are a better team than the one which made such a late surge into the playoffs last season. Well, the league table backs up his proclamation. A win today would be 4 in a row for Sunderland. It would take them back up to 4th in the Championship. Mowbray sticks with the same starting 11 that beat Blackburn on Wednesday. Mid-table Cardiff have won their last 2, but away from home they have only managed 1 point in 9 so far this season. Just one change for Cardiff today. Yaku Meta comes in for Ollie Tanner on the right wing.
Away from the football, Max Verstappen won the Japanese Grand Prix. You can get more reaction on our Checkered Flag podcast on BBC Sounds. British boxer Joe Joyce says he's not retiring after he was beaten by China's Zhilei Zhang in their heavyweight rematch. Manveer Rai spoke to him after the fight.
It was a tough fight, but I don't feel too damaged or anything from it. I feel like I've had harder spars, but it's just unfortunate that I gave him the opportunity in the first place. So just disappointed and going to have to, take a bit of time off before I come back, and I'll be back bigger and stronger for some other fights.
Joe, I have to ask, are you considering retiring?
Definitely not ready to retire yet. Still got more big fights, and it's heavyweight division is an exciting division, and there's plenty of fights to make. So I don't feel too bad. I'm not, fitness wise, I still feel good. I got caught with a good shot, but there's boxing, isn't it? It's I'm a tough man. I've come from rugby from the age of 6, so I've taken hard knocks and I've had harder spars. Credit to Zhang though, he's very skilled, and I gave him the opportunity, so I'm interested to see his next fight, and good luck to him.
We're just a couple of minutes away from the second half kicking off here at the Emirates in the North London derby. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1. And remember, once we're done here, we'll bring you full commentary at 4:30 of Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Correspondent John Murray and the former England defender Matt Upson are alongside me inside the stadium. What a sliding doors moment, Matt, that was for James Maddison in that first half. Nearly gifted Jesus a goal. A few minutes later, creates the equaliser.
Yeah, it was very much, how Spurs were under pressure. He got the ball rolled into him, and he just didn't seem quite aware of what was happening around him. There was a full press from Arsenal, and he's very loose, and Jesus really should punish him for that. He should have hit the target. It's poor that he hits it over the bar. He just put too much power into it. But that is James Maddison. I like the bravery that Spurs have had, in fairness to them. They've not shied from having the ball, even though it's intense pressure. They're in their own defensive third. They're all showing to have the ball, and you have to respect that. And the manager will always say, it's my fault, it's on me, I want you to do this, no fear. That's his message, and you can see that kind of just starting to play out in the Spurs players in this kind of environment,
which is worthy of further discussion, because in that interview with Gary Lineker, Ange Postecoglou said, this is the way I will play football come hell or high water, which is easy to say, but when you've got young players, Udogie's 20, Van der Ven's 22, in your back four, in a North London derby, in this pressure cooker, walking the walk is another thing.
Absolutely, and Udogie, for me, has been an interesting performance in that first half, some good things, but also you can see a little element of a bit of a shock. And he's playing up against such an experienced player in Saka in these situations. He is a hard player to play against. So he's done okay on this left-hand side. He's got that yellow card, which puts him on a little bit tender hooks. But they're all having the ball. You can see that the manager's clearly saying, I want no fear in this team. Nobody is shying away from this ball. If it goes wrong, it's because I've asked you to do something that might not be quite right. It's on me. So nobody fear that it's going to go, a black mark in the book against their name.
Surely the one thing that he'd have said, Postecoglou, to the Tottenham players, to Udogie, was do not let Saka cut inside into the penalty area on his left foot. And in fairness to Udogie, he only let it happen once.
Yeah,
but that led to the goal.
Yeah, it did, and there was just no one around him. They'd got a little bit stretched, hadn't they? It was like a counter of a counter, and Arsenal do that so well. They really did shift the ball wide quickly, and the space was there, and Saka took it.
Tottenham players already out. In a few moments, the Arsenal players will join them on the pitch here at the Emirates. I'm also, Matt, going to be having a little look at the yellow card count as the second half goes on as well, because what was really interesting is when Bissouma got that yellow card for dissent, as soon as he moved to the referee, 3 or 4 Spurs players tried to jump on him to stop him getting close enough to say something he shouldn't. but it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to say anything. Ask Ollie McBurney if you have to say anything. It's more about the intent, the body language, the way you want to go and engage with the referee to converse with him. And if it's done in a manner that is aggressive in any way or a little bit too much, you'll get the yellow card. So nothing's actually got to come out of your mouth, Steve, to get that yellow card. You have to be really careful and give it some thought, and that is the message from the PGMOL, and that they want to hammer that home.
There's been an early chance for Chelsea at the start of the second half at Stamford Bridge. Henry Moran.
Still Chelsea 0, Villa 0, but Raheem Sterling's pace down the right-hand side, creating the opportunity. Save well smothered by Emi Martinez, who's lying in a bit of a heap over to the right-hand side, getting some attention from Villa's team and physios. We'll wait to see the outcome of that, but a good chance early in the second half for Chelsea. It remains Chelsea 0, Villa 0.
You can listen to that in full on the BBC Sport website and app. The same is true of Brighton's game against Bournemouth. That's level. We're level all over the board. 5 Sports Extra for Liverpool versus West Ham. Sheffield United, Newcastle to come at 4:30. But we got another half of the North London derby first. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1, and changes. John Murray.
Yes, we start the second half with some big substitute news from Arsenal, because Declan Rice has not come out for the start of the second half. Jorginho is coming on from him, and you have to assume that that's an injury.
Yep.
And Fabio Vieira also replaced by Kai Havertz. Second half about to begin here. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1. But as Arsenal kick off, it's back to Brighton. Flo Pollock.
Talking of substitutes making a difference, Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1. From the kick-off, the two substitutes, Ansu Fati and Karo Matoma, combined to score. Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1.
Matoma in the goals again. Brighton have turned it around, not tottering anymore. And here, second half begins. Arsenal kicking off, red shirts with the white sleeves, white shorts and white socks. The point was rather amusingly made in midweek how enjoyable it was for some Arsenal fans to see Harry Kane playing in red and white. Here's Jesus playing the ball into the edge of the area. Now back to Jesus, who is stumbled into by Sarr. No free kick. And then Sarr stands up to the challenge that comes in on him from the newly arrived Jorginho. But it is a goal kick to Tottenham. Yes, anyone who's got any interest in Arsenal and Tottenham wants to be here today, watching this, savouring this. The first half absolutely flew past it, lived up to expectations. I suppose the one man who's not here is that man Harry Kane, who of course, and he's already sent out a post today, he's actually watching at Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest has been a theme of the week, and he had a big stein in his hand, and following events, as the record scorer in North London derbies is now thousands of miles away.
He would have enjoyed this system as well, I think, and that's a shame, because I think he would have really enjoyed and relished dropping deep in this Spurs team that are going to, be a little bit more expansive, a little bit more on the front foot, and I think they've used him really well. I mean, it's been a great move for him.
Yeah, mind you, I was there in midweek, and I think he'll enjoy playing with Musiala and Sané and Gnabry and Coleman.
He'll enjoy
as well.
He'll enjoy a stein in his hand as
well.
He
certainly will. I don't know whether he was cradling his match ball after his hat-trick yesterday. 8 goals in 7 appearances. Anyway, that's Harry Kane. Tottenham don't need to worry about him at the moment.
Welcome back to Anfield here on Sports Extra. Half-time between Liverpool and West Ham. It is 1 apiece. Liverpool going ahead in the 16th minute through a Mo Salah penalty, but Jarrod Bowen with a brilliant low header that trickled in off Alisson's right post, drawing West Ham level just before half-time. And the 11 players from both sides are back out on the Anfield turf in front of us as the wind continues to blow. And Chris Kavanagh blows for second half. Thankfully, no technical issues from him delaying kick-off here. We are underway in second half of this game here on 5 Sports Extra. And I will just run you through the teams again. No substitutions made by either side at half-time, as plays just paused there for a free kick for West Ham. So, Liverpool all in their familiar all red kit with the white trim on the collar and the cuffs, playing towards the Kop end now in this second half. And they start with Becker in goal, then Robertson, Van Dijk's back in the back four for them today, Matip and Gomez, Jones, McAllister and Szoboszlai across the midfield, with Diaz, Nunez and Salah up front. And it's Nunez just on the ball at the moment, just in a bit of a physical battle there with Kurt Zouma, and Liverpool win possession on the far side. Bright starts this in the opening seconds to the second half from Liverpool, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, really good hold-up play there from Nunez, and the crowd acknowledging that. They know they have to start this second half in a real up-tempo manner, because if they don't, they'll get punished. West Ham in the first half showed early on in the first 10 minutes that they can cause Liverpool big problems, and then obviously with that sucker punch in there later on in the first half.
Matip pass going wayward in this wind, more on that in a moment. So West Ham with possession now in their own half. They're playing all in white. Their away kit at the moment, as Emerson's just on the ball on this near side touchline, wins a throw in for Liverpool, which will take just in front of his manager, in front of the West Ham technical area. No changes for them again at half time. Areola in goal, as Emerson just 1-2s it there with Paquetá, and then Paquetá tries to hack that one more centrally for Bowen to run onto, but Alisson greatly gathers that and feeds Robertson out on the far side. So you've got Areola in goal as Robertson crosses the halfway line there now, and Diaz has beaten the offside trap and tries to get the cut back in a tight angle. I wonder if the ball was just out of play, but the referee signals for a Liverpool corner on the far side.
I don't think the assistant referee was up with play enough. I do think it went out. Yeah, I honestly, I thought the ball from Diaz had just crept over the goal line and it was out of play. The referee hasn't seen it and give a corner.
Yeah, so Liverpool given the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure West Ham and David Moyes in particular will have something to say about that if this corner comes to something. Robertson takes it on the far side. It's headed back by Souček, and then another West Ham player digs that one out as well, and a couple of bodies take a bit of a tumble there, but Jones, who remember had a goal disallowed at the end of the first half, picks it up on the far side for Liverpool as they attack towards the Kop end as we watch in this second half. Souček and Paquetá on the ball on the far side, trying to work West Ham out of trouble, and then the ball's lofted forward to the big target man, Mikel Antonio, who does well there to try and keeps Szoboszlai off the ball, but Liverpool winning back possession. Just whilst they are on the ball in their own half, let me run you through then the rest of West Ham's lineup. I mentioned Areola in goal, Emerson, Aguerd, Zouma and Soufal their back four, Souček and Edson Alvarez, who has been cautioned in the first half, so the only player on a yellow so far, with Paquetá, James Ward-Prowse, Jared Bowen, the goal scorer for them in the first half, and Antonio up front. Salah on the ball down the right hand side for Liverpool, tracked by Emerson. West Ham get it clear forward again, but it's picked up by McAllister midway through West Ham's half, and it's been a much brighter, more energised display from the Liverpool number 10 in this game so far today. Van Dijk just in the centre of the pitch. What do you think Jurgen Klopp has said to his players at half-time then, Stephen Warnock?
Well, one of the things that he always talks about is playing simple, playing quicker but playing simple. It's how they find the best routes against the best teams, and I think the credit to West Ham in the way that they've played is that he'll be asking for the same, but you can see with the speed of which they're trying to pass the ball now, they're trying to move it that much quicker.
Andy Robertson with a cross from the far side, just too close to Areola, and the West Ham goalkeeper safely clutches onto that one and then feeds it out to Aguerd and Emerson on this near side touchline. So West Ham attacking the Anfield Road stand in the second half, so from right to left as we watch up here in the main stand here at Anfield, here on 5 Sports Extra for you. One apiece between Liverpool and West Ham in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. And as you may have heard on Sports Extra just before you came back to us here at Anfield, Brighton have come from behind to lead Bournemouth at home. In one of the other 2 o'clock commentaries, you can listen to that online, as well as Chelsea Villa, that is still goalless. Arsenal have just been awarded a penalty at the London Stadium, at the Emirates Stadium rather, in the North London derby, so we'll keep you an eye on that one as Liverpool go on the attack again down the left hand side at the moment. Plenty of West Ham players getting back, tracking the run there by Diaz, and it's forced out for a throw in on the far side, which the Liverpool number 7 takes quickly. Back to McAllister. All of Liverpool's outfield players up in West Ham's half. They're just sounding out the early stages of the second half. Salah, Liverpool goal scorer, fizzes the ball into the area. It's headed down by West Ham and clear by Alvarez up to Antonio, who goes down into that challenge from Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool win back possession. Diaz, more centrally, urged to shoot from distance, does so, and that goes well wide of Areola's left-hand post.
Yeah, he gets it horribly wrong, Luis Diaz. Lovely play from Robertson, and just opens up half a yard for Luis Diaz to drive inside, and you're thinking he's trying to bend it into that far corner. He cuts across the ball horribly and just goes wide of the right-hand post. But the signs are good from Liverpool, but from West Ham's point of view, it's just stay in the game. You know you're capable on the break, and you know you're going to have to accept that Liverpool are going to come out and have more possession.
And they have those quality players as well. You know, we mentioned already Paquetá shows some lovely moments and touches on the ball, and I'm sure David Moyes will want to see more of him on the ball in the second half for West Ham. Bowen's just twisting and turning there to get away from a couple of Liverpool players. Good work there from Jarrod Bowen, and now it's with James Ward-Prowse and now Emerson on this left-hand channel, but his ball just bounces off Gomez, and Liverpool win back possession with Salah, and then Szoboszlai just on this right-hand near touchline as they attack from left to right in this second half. McAllister over the halfway line now. Arsenal have scored that penalty, are leading once more in the North London derby. 55 minutes on the clock there. That one over on 5 Live if you want to listen to that here on Sports Extra. Szoboszlai's just on the ball midway through West Ham's half. McAllister, Robertson now out on the far side, back with McAllister and Szoboszlai again, and West Ham making that edge of their penalty area so congested. Liverpool just assessing their options at the moment. Szoboszlai forward now to Salah, he's being held, and then Núñez, and my goodness me, that was wide, and he knows he should have done better with that. The layoff from Salah as he turned the West Ham player into the feet of Núñez was perfectly weighted, and Núñez just flashes it wide of the right post.
Oh, West Ham are defending so compact, so narrow, they're making it hugely difficult for Liverpool. But what they do so well is just the movement of Szoboszlai and Mohamed Salah into Núñez. I wonder whether he was offside. He wasn't. He should score. It's a sitter from Núñez.
It's a glorious chance for Darwin Núñez, and in their eagerness to try and put right that mistake, perhaps Liverpool have lost possession, and West Ham have a counter opportunity here. Mikel Antonio chests the ball down the left-hand channel. Here he is now, passing it to Paquetá, who lost one in to the edge of the 6-yard box. That was for Bowen, picked up by Soufal on the far side. He's now marked by Andy Robertson, who then gives away the free kick, and West Ham will have a set-piece opportunity in a very dangerous area there. But that chance from Darwin Núñez was absolutely glorious. When you see it again and again, I just can't understand how he doesn't find the target.
Yeah, it sums his career up at Liverpool so far, and that is where he's at the moment. The big thing is, from his point of view, from Jurgen Klopp's point of view, is he's getting in those positions, but he should do better. He should be scoring that.
You wonder if Cody Gakpo was on the field, if he perhaps would have put that one away. Of course, Cody Gakpo dropping to the bench today in place of Darwin Núñez. Big call from the Liverpool manager, and he was not able to find the back of the net with that one. So this is a free kick opportunity for West Ham, very deep on the right and the far side, just a yard or so inside the Liverpool dead ball line. Ward-Prowse is ever taking it, flashes that one in and headed down straight at Alisson Becker there, and perhaps West Ham not making the most of that set-piece opportunity.
No, Bowen should do better. He's free in the middle of the box. It's a lovely ball into the middle. He gets in between Van Dijk and Núñez. He's free. He pounds it into the floor, and just perhaps rises too early, but that is a big opportunity, and 2 big opportunities at the start of this second half.
Yeah, 2 big opportunities at either end for both Liverpool and then West Ham. Still 1 apiece here on 5 Sports Extra. Tottenham have equalised again, by the way, 2-2 in the North London derby.
What a game that is.
That is an end-to-end game. I'm sure nerves and fingernails are being shredded by both Arsenal and Tottenham fans at the moment. Liverpool going on the attack again down this right-hand side. Antonio doing very well, doing good teamwork there and defensive work to try and win back possession for his team. But Gomez has picked up the ball on this near side touchline, and Paquetá gets a toe in just to get it away from the Liverpool number 2. And this is exactly what we expect to see from Paquetá. Really lovely work.
Brilliant.
As he goes past a couple, 1, 2, now 3 Liverpool players, and then goes down. And he's done well to win that free kick, and he's applauded there by his teammates because there was some lovely work there, some footwork there from Paquetá, and Edson Alvarez just goes over and applauds him and helps haul him to his feet. Brilliant work there from Paquetá.
I keep the ball off you in a phone box. He's got that ability just to tight spaces, draw fouls in, magnificent upper body strength to hold off two players. He's a talent, he really is. You can see why Manchester City wanted him.
And that is definitely a player we hope we will see more of in this second half, certainly from a neutral perspective. As West Ham, though, on the far side, slightly careless and lax, and lose out on the ball, and then there's a big challenge that goes in there from Souček, and the referee says that will be a Liverpool free kick just on the halfway line. They take it quickly. Now Szoboszlai, edge of the centre circle, making the move forward. Salah's free on this near side, and then Aguerd manages to get the ball free, but referee's taking play back.
I think he's done well, the referee. I think when there's a lot of people in and around us are shouting for yellow cards all the time, he's not bothered. He wants to let the game flow. Then he's drawing the game back at the right times when there's incidents that happen there. Mikel Antonio clipped the heels of Szoboszlai, but he wanted to try and give him the advantage. There was no advantage there, so he brings it back. Really good.
So this is going to be a Liverpool free kick, very central, just to the slight right-hand side of the D, about 30 yards out. Andy Robertson and Szoboszlai, why not? Why wouldn't he stand over this? He's lofted in some absolutely fabulous balls in this game. Are the two players standing over it at the moment. Gomez, the solitary player back for Liverpool. It is going to be Szoboszlai who takes it, lofts it into the area, headed up and back by Emerson, and then again West Ham managed to get it clear, and Robertson tries to dink that one back in, but it's straight at Paquetá, and Mikel Antonio's trying to run onto that, and Szoboszlai gets that one here for throwing to West Ham this near side touchline.
He does well at the back post, Emerson, because Van Dijk won the first initial header, and if he doesn't win it, Salah's got a tap in at the back post. He had to make sure that he won that header.
Still no goals at Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea are down to 10 men. So still Chelsea 0, Villa 0, but Chelsea down a player now. Difficult start to the season, gets worse for Mauricio Pochettino, certainly at Stamford Bridge. I'll keep you across that one there. So Emerson's going to take this throw in just in front of the Liverpool technical area, and it goes out of play by Curtis Jones, and will be another throw in which West Ham are just taking their time to take. Jurgen Klopp standing motionless in his technical area at the moment. Thrown from Emerson straight at Paquetá, and he lost that one high up into the Liverpool sky, and it comes down as won by Liverpool, and that's going to be a Liverpool free kick just in the centre circle.
I was just checking to see who'd been sent off.
Who's been sent off?
Gusto.
It's a difficult start to the season, certainly for Mauricio Pochettino. West Ham perhaps not making most of trying to get their area clear there. Liverpool with some good moves at the moment, and the ball over the top to Darwin Núñez, and that's the moment he's been waiting for. He should have scored a couple of minutes ago and he didn't, and then the ball over the top from McAllister, perfectly weighted, and Darwin Núñez has his goal in the Premier League for Liverpool, and they are back ahead again here with a 2-1 lead over West Ham.
Well, we've been watching the Solheim Cup, and you're thinking of Alexis McAllister. He just gets out a lob wedge, just dinks it over the back line of West Ham. And Núñez, he should have scored earlier on. This is an even more difficult opportunity. He takes it on the flying volley, almost like a scissor kick, and he finds the far left-hand corner. But he makes the difficult stuff look easy, and he makes the easy stuff look so hard. But the relief on his face, because he knew how important the chance was before. He knew it was a big opportunity, but this is an outstanding finish from Darwin Núñez.
It almost just comes off his right toe. He's certainly onside, by the way. He times that run perfectly, and he takes that sort of on the volley in the air, doesn't he? He's off the ground when he makes contact with the ball. He knew exactly where he wanted to place it. Areola can do nothing about that finish. Fabulous goal from Darwin Núñez, and how significant that could be for him in his Liverpool career, given what happened a few minutes ago in the missed opportunity, Stephen.
Yeah, it's big, but what you will say is that the quality of the goal, the technique, watching the ball over your shoulder. It's such a difficult skill, because the first thing in your mind is to really lash at it, to get good contact. It's actually the opposite that you want to do. You want to make sure that you're slow and you're concentrated.
There's a ball over the top there from the right from Michael Antonio, but Allison very quick onto that one. Make sure James Ward-Prowse doesn't get a look in for that. Liverpool got to remain concentrated now. This is when they were on top in the first half. They allowed West Ham back into the game, but he almost sort of stroked it in, didn't he, Stephen? It was a really sort of delicate finish in a way from Joel Nunez.
Yeah, absolutely. But Maz, this game isn't over. We've seen enough from West Ham today to know that they'll come again, and they'll try the best to get back into this game.
It's Liverpool on the attack at the moment, though. Robertson feeding Curtis Jones down the left-hand side, and the shot is urged from Jones, and it deflects just over the crossbar. It took a big deflection off a West Ham player at the edge of the area, and Areola was scrambling back to his goal line just to make sure that did not find the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a real wicked deflection from the shot from Curtis
Comes
Jones.
off Zuma,
yeah, off Zuma, and then it just whips up into the air, and Areola, he knows he has to deal with the situation, but a little bit unorthodox, but got the job done.
Yeah, manages to kind of pour it clear almost over the top of the crossbar. So it is going to be a Liverpool corner from the right. Robertson's going to take this just in front of the cop. Flashes that one into the box. West Ham head it back. It's going to be picked up though by McAllister here. He's trapped by Bowen, and he sends it all the way back to Becker, who is well out in his own half. And then Jones just by the edge of the centre circle now. West Ham will not panic, but they've got to remain concentrated that Liverpool don't get a third here. Big deflection last week as well for Liverpool's third. Harvey Elliott at the time credited with it, but that went down as a Wolves' own goal, and I imagine that one would have been similar. Such was the deflection that it took off Zuma, that Curtis Jones shot, who of course had one disallowed in the first half as well. If you weren't with us just before half time, he thought he had put Liverpool 2-1 up, but he was offside as the ball was delivered by Szoboszlai. But Liverpool giving away a free kick here, so West Ham with a chance to build a bit of possession perhaps from their own half. And it's Zuma with it just on the edge of the West Ham area at the moment. Back to his keeper. And West Ham are going to have to come from behind again to try and get something from this game. When do we think we might see the changes perhaps from David Moyes? Because we're getting to that point now where he might start to look to his bench, do we think?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think he'll be content with the way West Ham are playing, though. I think he knows that the players that he's got on the pitch and what they've done in the first half showcase that they can hurt Liverpool, and he'll believe that there'll be probably a period within this second half where they'll start to come back into the game, and he'll trust the players that are on the pitch. But you've obviously got Mohamed Kudus on the bench, who is an exceptional player, and you think that he'll be the change that David Moyes will look to add to this West Ham lineup.
Yeah, and of course scored as well in midweek in the Europa League, so opened his account now for West Ham since joining over the summer, so potentially some substitutions to be made at some point. We've seen a couple of Liverpool players warming up as well on the touchline, but I'm sure Jurgen Klopp, with the start his side have made in the second half, will be opting to stick rather than twist at the moment. Liverpool are on the ball at the moment, just around the centre of the pitch, quite happy just to keep ball, keep possession, and keep out of trouble in terms of West Ham going forward at the moment. Matic tries the ball forward now, headed back by Nunez to Salah. Those two linking up quite well now, and then the ball from Salah is fed into the feet of Diaz, and Areola very quick off his line to come out and clear that danger. Paquetá hassled and pressed now by Salah, dispossessed by Salah. The Liverpool fans like what they're seeing now here. Real energy from Liverpool at the moment in this second half. The momentum with them as we approach 65 minutes here. They have the 2-1 advantage here at Anfield over West Ham here on 5 Sports Extra, as Emerson and Gerd just trying to slow things down a little bit for West Ham here. It's an important couple of minutes, you feel this, for West Ham if they're going to try and get back into this. Liverpool definitely on top at the moment, psychologically it feels.
Yeah, they're smelling blood, aren't they, Liverpool? They sense that there's another goal for them, and just the pressing from Curtis Jones, you hear the crowd getting up, and just the last couple of moments he's the one that's gone and press the West Ham players at the back and cause problems.
And he's fed in Salah here, who's making the run into the area, very congested in there. There was Darwin Núñez as well, Liverpool's second goal scorer, in there as well, but West Ham managed to get the ball clear, get possession back, but then Paquetá dispossessed by Gomez on the halfway line, and Virgil van Dijk just sweeps this one forward to Curtis Jones. Momentum definitely with Liverpool at the moment, with 21 minutes of the second half played. They've got the 2-1 advantage. No other goals to bring you in the other 2 o'clock games at the moment in the Premier League. Salah back to Szoboszlai. Then was trying to feed that into Núñez now at the edge of the area. He's getting those positions now, Núñez, isn't he? As you say, he's kind of reading the situation well, even if the ball isn't always coming to him how he would hope it.
Yeah, it's all about the timing of the run. It's anticipating where the space might be, but then also demanding the ball. I think sometimes when you're not in form, the confidence isn't quite there, you hide a little bit, but today he looks really like he's enjoying his game.
It's just hanging on the shoulder of Curtis Zuma at the moment. West Ham's defence all in a line at the edge of their area as Jones keeps ball here on this right hand channel and then feeds in Salah, the lovely back heel for Jones to run onto, but James Ward-Prowse reads that danger very well. Liverpool want the corner, but I think James Ward-Prowse did very well there to win the goal kick.
James Ward-Prowse really tries to shadow the ball out of play. He gets a little bit of a shove in the back from Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones felt like he'd just done enough to win the ball, but it's been a great battle of a game, really has. There's been battles all over the pitch, but as I say, there's plenty more to come from this game with just over 20 minutes to go.
Lovely takedown there from the air from Souček to feed out Mikel Antonio deep on this left-hand side for West Ham, deep in Liverpool's half, as they are forced back though by good organised work from Liverpool, and then they've forced a mistake, and McAllister's on the ball now, and they're over the halfway line, and Núñez is making the run through the middle, and he's trapped there by Agüed, and West Ham just about get that one clear at the edge of their area.
Great defending by Agüed, knew he had to be strong, runs the line of Darwin Núñez and then gets the arm across and prevents him getting in.
Well, Jurgen Klopp's saying this week is West Ham try the long ball over the top through the middle to try and pick out Mikel Antonio, saying this week that he feels that Darwin Núñez is in a good place, is in a good moment, and certainly from what we've seen from these 69 minutes here at Anfield, he certainly looks like he's maybe turned a corner in the colours of Liverpool, which could be a huge moment, another asset for them this season. Gomez to Salah on this right hand side. West Ham all back in their half, as Liverpool very happy to keep possession now. They have their goal advantage back, and there's a little bit of a huddle going on in the West Ham technical area. We're going to have some changes here, I think. Certainly one player stripping off, ready to come on for West Ham, so David Moyes is thinking he needs to mix things up a little bit here as Gomez feeds it back to his captain Virgil van Dijk in Liverpool's half. Out on the far side with Andy Robertson, and then McAllister. Salah again now down this right hand side, feeding in Diaz, back to Salah. Núñez is in the area, the ball's lofted in by Salah just past Núñez and past Jones as well, and Soufal tracks Liverpool number 17 all the way back, and Liverpool forced back again. But they're really enjoying their time on the ball at the moment here, Liverpool. It feels like the third goal does feel like it's coming, as that shot from Salah from the right is straight at Areola, but Liverpool got to make the most of this moment at the moment. They really do feel like the momentum's with them. Yeah, the rotation from the forward players has been really impressive. Diaz finds himself on the right hand side, and then Curtis Jones wanders out onto that side, understanding that he needs to fill in that gap. So they're finding it difficult to pick up
the Liverpool players, West Ham, and it looks like they're going to make a couple of changes. Kudus is definitely one of those players. I think that's Fornals as well, so it shows what David Moyes is looking to do. He believes that there's still something in the game for them.
Yeah, they need to up their energy levels here a bit. West Ham definitely, Liverpool on top. Jones, the ball that just deflects off again at the edge of the West Ham penalty area and picked up by Gomez, and McAllister feeds that one very nicely into the feet of Szoboszlai. Now Salah on this right hand touchline, back with Jones. Plenty of time to just assess where he wants to send it, back to Szoboszlai, and then Paquetá comes in, says I've seen enough of that, and wins that one back for West Ham on this near side touchline. Forward to James Ward-Prowse. West Ham's still in their half, and it's back with Areola, their keeper, but they do have possession back at the moment as it stands. Chelsea down to 10 men and now down a goal as well, losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. 77 minutes gone in that game at Stamford Bridge, so that's another big moment. Izzy Christensen said on 5 Live earlier, Stephen Warnock, that she put Villa as the favourites in that game. Yeah, big result for Aston Villa if they can get that one. Ollie Watkins with the goal, so that just sort of tells you what troubles Chelsea are having at the moment. Mauricio Pochettino finding life very difficult. And Aston Villa with some good moments at times this season. Watched them at Burnley a couple of weeks ago. Really impressive in that game. No other goals to tell you about. Still Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2, Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1. And obviously still 2-1 here. Is good moment this perhaps for Bowen, but the chance he couldn't quite get under his feet in the area, and Liverpool able to block it clear, and now they have possession down the left hand side over the halfway line. Really good paces from Diaz, and the 1-2 with Nunez as well, and he's got it at a tight angle on the left and still trying to make the run into the area and just loses out there. Soufal managing to just get a toe in, and West Ham live to breathe again.
Yeah, he's so unfortunate, Diaz. He just ran out of energy. He'd run sort of 60-70 yards of the pitch. That's quite nice as well to see. Soufal and Diaz high-fiving each other. They realising the type of battle that they're having down that side of the pitch. It's been great to watch.
And it's going to be a West Ham goal kick, and we're just going to see here now, I think, these changes made on David Moyes gesturing at his substitutes to get ready, and certainly Mohamed Kudus and his sort of turquoise boots is going to be one of the players that's coming on, as Paquetá with a lovely ball that is just perfect through the middle for Bowen to try and run onto, but Andy Robertson really wise to that and just shepherding that ball back to Alisson in the Liverpool goal. Forward again then by Liverpool. Gomez down this right hand side. Salah's out free on this right hand channel and has the ball now and gets it past Paquetá and tries to get it past Emerson as well, and thought he'd won a corner, but it will indeed be a West Ham goal kick.
And David Moyes is finally getting the opportunity to get his players on, and Liverpool look like they're responding as well. Ryan Gravenberch is going to make his Anfield debut.
So the players coming on are indeed Fornals and Mohamed Kudus, and they are going to be replacing Mikel Antonio, I believe, and Thomas Souček as well, the other player to come off. So Souček and Antonio, 2 players coming off for West Ham for Fornals and for Mohamed Kudus. So don't imagine there'll be too much of a formation change from West Ham there, just bringing in a bit more energy perhaps in the second half, Stephen.
Yeah, it looks that way. I think one thing that it'll change now is that they don't have that physicality up front, so Van Dijk and Matip are now posed a different question. It'll be sort of pacing behind, it'll be clever play in and around the feet of those 2 players, so they're going to have to change the way that they defend against them.
And they've got 15 minutes to try and see if the changes can make a difference for West Ham. 15 minutes to the second half here on 5 Sports Extra to try and get back level again in this game. Liverpool still leading 2-1, and West Ham given lots of time in and around their area to try and get this ball clear. Emerson with the ball forward to the centre circle. That was for Paquetá, but he can't quite get onto that one, and Van Dijk and now Curtis Jones able to get the ball free for Liverpool and back with possession for them, with Andy Robertson on the far side.
Looks a little bit fatigued, Paquetá. Just in the last few minutes, it's almost like he's gassed himself out a little bit.
Yeah, has shown some fantastic skill with the ball at his feet, but just looking a little bit leggy now, perhaps, in the final 15 minutes of this game. And Liverpool are going to be very happy to keep possession here and just let West Ham do all the chasing. You know, when you are fatigued, as Paquetá is, as Gomez gets it past Fornals there and then is fed the ball back, or attempted to, by Salah. And again, West Ham have to build from the back again. When you are playing against players that are perhaps tiring, you know, that's the best tactic, isn't it? Keep the ball, as Liverpool have it again here. Salah back on this right hand side with Nunez, score Liverpool's second goal. Tries to get the cross in at a tight angle and wins the corner for Liverpool on this right hand side. And Gravenberch, I think, is going to come on now. So Liverpool are going to make this change now, and it's going to be for Curtis Jones. And he's had a good game, hasn't he, Curtis Jones? There was that chance, obviously, took a huge deflection off Zuma. That could have been Liverpool's third, but that disallowed goal in the first half as well. He's shown some good moments.
I think he's been brilliant. I really do. I think tactically he's so clever. Jurgen Klopp's improved him. He used to be a winger in the youth days at Liverpool, but now he's pressing, he's showing his importance to the first team, and he's finally stepping up and showcasing what he can do.
Still only 22 as well. You forget that, don't you, when he's been in and around the Liverpool senior setup for so long. As Szoboszlai just takes this corner from the right for Liverpool, and Matip's on the end of it and tries to get that one down. 1-2, third opportunity, no. West Ham get it away, headed back in though by Gravenberch, and then straight at Areola, and West Ham able to gather. Still only 22 years old. You forget that when he's been in and around the first team for so long. There's still so much perhaps to see from him and to see him develop in his career.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that Harvey Elliott had stepped ahead of him, taken advantage of that midfield position, but he's shown his quality towards the back end of last season and certainly this season.
Another Paquetá moment there,
just
turning it past Szoboszlai and Nunez, surrounded by two Liverpool players there, and able to feed it back to his defence. His control of the ball in those close situations is absolutely fabulous, and it's with Soufal on the far side, those bright orange boots, back with James Ward-Prowse. This is all nice work from West Ham, but not in the area of the field they need to be in if they're going to get something out of this game and get back into this match. Fed forward by Emerson, now Paquetá again on this left-hand touchline, and Emerson does well to get that out to Fornals on the left-hand side. He puts the ball into the area, but I think the shot straight at Alisson, when it didn't have a lot of power and wasn't perhaps the best option for Fornals there.
Really poor shot. He just didn't get hold of it at all. He worked it well, West Hammers. The options this afternoon or second half have been very limited for them to create any opportunities, and when they have, it's just been a little bit lacking in that final quality.
You think really in the second half for West Ham, the only real opportunity that they've had was that chance for Jared Bowen from that corner straight off, really, in the second half, that was straight at Becker, Alisson Becker, as Gomez feeds Salah again down this right hand side, and Szoboszlai loses the ball. Not really like him at all, not what we normally say, as West Ham just straight the ball out to the right hand side over on the far side. Soufal though showing a bit too much of that to Diaz, and has to go in for a second attempt and make sure he gets that one to Kudos, who feeds it back to Agurd, and now Ward-Prowse. But the energy levels aren't quite there at the moment for West Ham, as the ball over the top is for Jared Bowen, who just feeds out now to Soufal on the far side, headed back by Matip, and Robertson gets that one forward, and just a bit of energy levels gone out of the game in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's a good spell for West Ham now.
Kudos on the ball now, feeding out nicely to Soufal on the far side. The cross comes in. Paquetá was making the run into the middle, and he swings off the crossbar of the goal frame in frustrations, really, that he wasn't able to get on the end of that, because that was a dangerous cross into the area from the right.
Yeah, a couple of balls that Soufal puts into the area. The first one, no one attacking, because Kudos had linked the play up and played down that right hand side. Antonio would have been licking his lips at that one if he'd been on the pitch, and then Paquetá, the ball just behind him ever so slightly as the second cross came in.
And we're having changes number 2 and 3 here for Liverpool, and it's actually a switch at the front from what we had last week at Molineux. So Cody Gakpo and Diogo Jota coming on for Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz, the two players who are leaving the pitch now. And Darwin Núñez looks absolutely thrilled at what he's able to do on this pitch today. The way he celebrated that goal, he must feel a huge sense of relief that he's actually managed to get the goal in the league for Liverpool, especially after that chance that he missed.
Yeah, be delighted. And when we said before, he had an earlier chance, and you think, well, is he going to get an opportunity to rectify it? He did. He took the harder opportunity, but all round, a better performance from him. I think Liverpool just bring in Jota on and also Gakpo to try and get that intensity of the press back to stop West Ham having possession and playing out easily from the back.
10 minutes or so for Liverpool to hold on then here at Anfield on Sports Extra. Brighton with a third against Bournemouth, so Brighton 3, Bournemouth 1. All the other scores as they were. Chelsea still trailing, down a goal, down a player to Aston Villa. It's still Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2 in the North London derby, so still time for late drama and late goals in all of these games. And West Ham will be hoping for one here. James Ward-Prowse with the cross field ball out to Soufal on the far side, manages to keep it in that left-hand touchline and tries to get the crossing from a tight angle again, but that's straight at Alisson, who's very happy just to count down some seconds here. Alisson rolls it out to Virgil van Dijk, and now Liverpool going forward with Jota, and Gakpo goes down under a challenge, and Liverpool will be very happy to see the seconds just tick down like this. It's a bit of a silly yellow card for West Ham to pick up. I think it's Zuma who's been booked. This is precisely how Liverpool want this last few minutes of this match to play out, disrupted, so West Ham can't get that rhythm to try and get back into this game. Yeah, because they have grown back into it in the last 5 minutes or so. The substitutions have had an effect on the game straight away. For Liverpool, the intensity's dropped, and that's trying to find that again. You've got to keep the ball, you have to retain it if you're Liverpool and see this game out. They are at the moment. Robertson on the far side, back to Virgil van Dijk. Now Gakpo over on that far side as well, trying to feed in Gravenberch, who has the ball knocked off his toes and wins the throw-in. 1-2 with Jota. Out on the far side still, Liverpool. Cody Gakpo feeding it in with Gravenberch, and then Jota can't get in the end of that, and West Ham were able to get that one clear for a goal kick. Coming up to 83 minutes now on the clock here. Liverpool still with a 2-1 lead at the moment. It just has gone a bit flat though, a bit quiet, not just on the pitch, Stephen, but in the stands as well. Just Liverpool fans perhaps sensing that they need to see maybe some other moments from their team there, as Salah almost runs onto the ball in the area there, but Emerson gets it clear, and then Paquetá's done another Paquetá. I think this has to be a dictionary definition next to him in the skills that he shows on the ball. Quite amazing. Do you know what? He's just got injured though. He's just pointed to his hamstring and then signalled to the bench that he's, whether it's cramp or, but he's just signalled enough's enough. But he's magnificent. His skill is incredible, but he is now clutching his leg and is not making a move forward. So yeah, we are going to have to see him come off. And in the meantime, Liverpool managed to win another corner, and Andy Robertson just trotting over there, not in too much of a rush to take the throw-in for Liverpool from the left as they attack this Kop end in the final 5 minutes or so of this game. Still with the 1 goal advantage, still they lead 2-1. This almost certainly would make it certain if they were to get something from this. Corner comes in, and it is into the back of the net from Diogo Jota. The corner came in from Robertson. West Ham couldn't clear their area properly, and Diogo Jota will not have many opportunities for a simpler finish than that one. And he's almost embarrassed to celebrate it because it was so simple. He knocks it in to the back of the net, couple of yards out, and that really does feel now at 3-1 to Liverpool over West Ham. That is all 3 points sewn up.
Well, it ticks the boxes for Jurgen Klopp of the perfect set piece, great delivery. Can you get first contact? Van Dijk does that, and Diogo Jota does exactly what Diogo Jota does best. He's a poacher. He's just senses where to be on the pitch, where the ball might drop to. He's unmarked and he just puts it into an empty net. Very simple from Diogo Jota, and that should be game, set and match for Liverpool.
That should be all 3 points. That should be their unbeaten start to the Premier League maintained for Liverpool. And we're still waiting for this Paquetá substitution to be made, and it now comes, but it really does feel a case of too little too late here, as Danny Ings is going to be the player coming on for Paquetá. It's a shame to see him leave the field because he's had some fabulous moments today, but Liverpool doing enough and showing that ruthlessness in front of goal that we saw from them last week, just to get over the line. As we say, still a team developing and getting to know each other, but the best way to get to know each other is just to keep the routine and the wins going.
Yeah, there's. Sorry, Maz, I'm just trying to work out whether Liverpool fans are applauding Danny Ings but also applauding the performance, because Liverpool fans and football fans anywhere would have enjoyed that performance, and I think you've got to respect it sometimes.
Yeah, it was some brilliant work from Paquetá, but work here to do for West Ham to try and make sure they don't get a fourth, and James Ward-Prowse wins a free kick inside his own area, and we're going to see another Liverpool substitution here as well. Wataru Endo is going to come on for the last 3 minutes plus stoppage time of this game for Liverpool, and again this is just about shoring things up now at this point for Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, it has to be, and it's McAllister who's coming off in that holding position, so that tells you everything.
And again, he's had a much better 90 minutes today than the 45 he had last weekend, and you've got a lot of these players building in confidence today. Some big performances from him, from Darwin Núñez, and this can only be positive if you're Jurgen Klopp in terms of your players that are coming in, putting in some good performance on that field today.
Yeah, I just wonder whether that holding position is still his best position. I still think it's higher up, and we saw with the goal the creativity, lovely assist from him. That'll do his confidence the world of good, because I do think he's been a little bit effective playing in that position, trying to get to know it and understand it, and there's a different type of pressure on you playing there.
No more goals to tell you about in the other 2 o'clock games in the Premier League, as Liverpool go searching for a fourth here now, and Gakpo's shot deflects off Aguerd, and that's going to be another Liverpool corner in the final few minutes of this match. So much sport, of course, across the BBC this weekend, across BBC 5 Live, here on 5 Sports Extra, online as well. We'll be returning to the final round of the Solheim Cup in the next couple of minutes. We've got commentary of the Rugby World Cup as well later. Huge match for Scotland against Tonga. That's at 4:30 as well, here on Sports Extra. Wales playing Australia as well later on 5 Live, as Bosley takes this corner from the right, and it kind of is knocked out and back towards the halfway line by West Ham. It's picked up by Andy Robertson in the centre circle, who doesn't really see anything on, so sends it back to Alison Becker, and Liverpool just keeping possession now in the final few seconds of this game, as we wait to see how much time will be played at the end of this match. But yeah, the atmosphere's just gone a bit quiet. What will Jurgen Klopp make, do you think, of this 90 minutes today from his team, Stephen?
I think he'll be really pleased, I really do. I think he'll, more often than not, he's very honest. I think he'll say there's been some very good moments, but there's been some moments that need working on. He'll understand that, but he'll also have the respect, and rightly so, for West Ham. They are a dangerous outfit, they really are. The pace that they have on the break. I think we talk about Liverpool being a team in transition and a team that's going to get better. West Ham are exactly the same. They've got a lot of new players within this team, within this squad, and I think they're going to get better as well this season.
Yeah, it's the West Ham post Declan Rice, who of course went off for Arsenal after the first 45 minutes of that North London derby, which is into the 92nd minute, and it's still 2-2 there at the Emirates. But where do you assess then West Ham as Liverpool going on the attack again into the area, and that's Diogo Jota's shot that's blocked by Areola, and then the follow-up over the crossbar as well from Szoboszlai. West Ham post Declan Rice, I mean, this game today was a marker really of how they progressed. Off the back though, as we see the ball come up for 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this match. Back-to-back defeats in the Premier League to Manchester City and then to Liverpool. I mean, how much do you take from these defeats if you're David Moyes?
Well, you've got to look at the positives. Have we hurt both teams? Yes, you have. What can we learn from it? I think there's periods where they have to stay in the game for longer, and then almost it's a togetherness to defend better. But they are a good team. There's no two ways about it. They're much improved from last season, and I think they will definitely get better. I like the look of Alvarez in midfield. I really do. I think he's a superb player. But it'll be interesting to see what happens come January, whether Paquetá stays, whether Nunez going to Manchester City was enough to fend that off, and whether they can keep hold of him.
Yeah, and big games, lots of fixtures coming up for both of these sides. That's the other thing, I guess, certainly for West Ham, Stephen, is as Alisson's just on the ball, and you're not really missing very much here. Liverpool just happy to move the ball about within their players, although now Jota's trying to send it forward, and that deflects off a West Ham player as Szoboszlai manages to win the free kick for Liverpool on the far side in West Ham's half. You know, they've got, both sides have got League Cup games coming up in midweek, Premier League of course as well, and then more group games to come in the Europa League. That's going to be the real challenge again for West Ham, and we saw that they struggled on all fronts last season. You know, their form towards the end of the season, the Premier League, really was not good at all as they were chasing that title in the Conference League.
I think they've got more depth though now. I think that was one thing that they were desperate to do, was add more players into the squad and more quality, and I certainly think that they've definitely done that, and that will help them.
Andy Robertson thinking about taking this free kick, and does indeed, lost it into the area, and Gakpo's one of the players there, and the header is straight into the turf and then bounces up safely into the hands of Areola as he looked to play it out quickly to some of his West Ham outfield players. They are now on the ball now, but running out of time now. 92.5 minutes on the board, still another 2.5 to play, but it feels now like this match is out of sight for West Ham as Liverpool go on the hunt for a fourth, and Fornals manages to win that ball of Szoboszlai and then send it forward to Danny Ings. Switches play out onto the far side for West Ham, but that's read very easily by Andy Robertson, who just heads that out confidently for a throw-in on the halfway line. So games to come for Liverpool against Leicester in midweek in the third round of the League Cup, and then they've got a trip to Tottenham as well, and that's going to be a really interesting game, Stephen, because again, as Spurs are still drawing at the Emirates, it's again a real marker, I guess, of not just how much Spurs will have progressed, but also how Liverpool will do playing against Ange Postecoglou's team. That's going to be a really interesting one, hopefully.
Yeah, it is. It's one that I'm going to, and we work in 4 for 5 Live, so I'm looking forward to that game, because I think that's going to be a game that will, like you say, see where Spurs are, see where Liverpool are definitely at. But it's a fascinating tactical battle when you think about the way that Postecoglou set his team up. It shows where they're at today. If they can hold on to a draw at Arsenal, that shows you that there is massive there is progression at Spurs, and he'll be delighted with that,
especially coming from behind as well, twice to draw level for Tottenham. They're into the 7th minute, it looks like, at the Emirates Stadium. Full time has come and gone at Brighton, who have come from behind to beat Bournemouth 3-1 as free kick is lofted into the area for West Ham, and then blocked clear by Virgil van Dijk for a throw-in on this. Near side touch, and it's going to be a corner rather. All the other games still unchanged at the moment, and still 3-1 here as we approach now the last 40 seconds or so of this game. Potentially a late consolation for West Ham as Emerson makes the long throw-in into the area, but it's picked up by Szoboszlai and by Gomez, and Fornals tries to get the cut back in from a tight angle from this near side, and Alisson just plucks that out of the air and sends Liverpool forward again with Jota on the ball. Counter-attacking opportunity. Salah's making the run just to the edge of the D. He's free and unmarked, and then Gakpo tried to poke a toe in as the ball was lofted forward by Diogo Jota. He could see the run from Cody Gakpo. That was a good idea, that from Diogo Jota.
It was a brilliant ball from Alisson to set the attack underway.
Gakpo's trying the little back heel now, was almost trying to return the favour there for Jota, and Gravenberch was also loitering dangerously, and that is the full-time whistle. So Liverpool's unbeaten start to the season continues, and they still look like a team in progress, but they are building in the right direction, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, they certainly are. They were tested today at times by West Ham. They dealt with that test clinically in front of goal. They got the job done, and that was the most important thing. Some quality moments, especially from Darwin Núñez, who's found it difficult so far in his Liverpool career, but showed today what he is capable of. But when Liverpool have players like Salah and Diaz on the pitch, and then they're able to bring on the likes of Jota and Gakpo, it shows the strength that they have. The big thing is now is trying to find that balance to make sure that defensively they are very secure, but all round a magnificent game of football.
Might be too early to say, and you might say that to me in answer to this question, but with this new Liverpool 2.0, as you pointed out, Jurgen Klopp's been calling it, how close do we think they could challenge domestically this season, when we see how Manchester City have strengthened in the summer as well with their squad?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them, but they will believe that they can push them. I think one thing that they've got in their armoury is the manager Jurgen Klopp. We know how good of a manager he is. It'll be a test next week away at Spurs. They're the test though, going away to the likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Manchester City. If you can pick up wins on the run, they will do very well, because the home form is extremely good.
So much to come still this weekend here on 5 Sports Extra, on 5 Live. Scotland, Tonga here later on 5 Sports Extra. Wales against Australia later on 5 Live. Both those are huge games in the Rugby World Cup. Obviously over on 5 Live from 4:30, Sheffield United against Newcastle. It is finished at Stamford Bridge as well. Chelsea, 10-man Chelsea, have lost 1-0 at home to Aston Villa, so their troubles continue. But how is it all faring on the final day, the final round of the Solheim Cup? So much